How do I customize the user interface, the UI in Maya? So one of the ways you could go and do it is if you go to Windows, go to UI elements, you could actually tear this off by clicking the dashed lines on top here. And you have a list of the different elements of the UI. So on the top, this is called the status line. So you could turn that on or off. This is the shelf. These are different buttons for things that are on the shelf here. So you could turn that on and off. You could even have a custom one and you can create your own buttons. And then you have time slider, which is this, that is for animation. You could turn that on and off. The range slider adjusts the range of the time slider of where the start and end is. You could drag it here. The same thing with the end. So you could turn that on and off with the range slider. The command line right here, that turns that on and off. This is where you could input Mel script commands, or you could click on it and you could put in Python commands in here. Or you could click on the icon in here and you could see the feedback window of things that are being done in the viewport. Or you could type in code for either Mel or Python, and you could add new tabs with that, and you could choose Python or Mel scripting. So that is the command line, and then the help line down here tells you what's going on, gives you some hints. So you could turn that on and off. And the toolbox is the side over here that turns it on and off. And then you have these options to say hide all elements, or you could say show all elements, or you could restore them. Now, there's another way you could get to the same menu. If you could use a hotbox, which you float your mouse over the viewport, press and hold the space bar. And if you go just to the right side, like the east, from one of these buttons, don't click on the Maya button or else you'll have these different options. But if you let go and then click in an empty space, you have these same options here, like helpline, that turns it on and off. I'll left click here, or you can click all the way to the end as long as it's an empty space to the east side. You could see these delineations on these lines here. That tells you east, like up, right, down, left, or northeast, southwest. So click here and you have the same type of options here. You have extra ones like attributes. If you click on one and you want to go back, go hover over the dotted line and it'll go back to it. You don't have to let go of the left mouse button. You could take off the shelf, or let's say the toolbox, or bring it back. As you could see, as you take it off, let's say I'm going to do the help line. It's going to toggle that as well. If I go to the help line, that toggles it back on. So they're in sync. And you could click these back on over here. Another thing you could do is actually take off and rip out these menus and make them float somewhere. So let's say you see this kind of like dotted lines on the side of each element. For example, let's say this command line, you can pull it out and it's now a floating window. You could take that and now dock it somewhere else, or you could just pull it out again and put it on like another monitor so you could have your different menus out there. And you could take this and you could put it back to where it was. You just have to look at the blue line to show where it would go, or where it would dock. And then also you have, if you go to window, you have workspaces. The default one is the general. So you could, if you change things out, you could go down to reset general factory defaults and it will relay out everything how it was when you first set it up. So if you mess things up, you could always reset it. Or you could go to Windows Workspace and you could choose different layouts. You can make them yourself, but these are kind of presets. Let's say you're sculpting, so they'll redo the layout. For example, they get rid of the timeline and they'll just do the layout that's more streamlined for sculpting. You could also change it up here. Generally, I keep it kind of like in general and just change it out myself, which is a lot of people do. But that's one way you could actually edit or just use the presets. And one other thing that's very helpful is you could press Control and tap spacebar, and you will tap into what could be called expert mode or professional mode. In other software, they have this as well. And this allows you to focus just on the viewport. To go back, to toggle back to it, you press Control and tap spacebar again. So that's pretty much the layout at how to customize a user interface in Maya.
And if some parts of this felt a little too fast, or you're not quite confident using the tools just yet, that's totally okay. The 3D Character Accelerator was made to fix that problem fast. If you're a complete beginner, we walk you through everything step by step so you can create portfolio-ready 3D character models in just 14 days, even if you've never used Blender before. If you're already a bit more experienced, this program will help you sharpen your workflow, learn faster ways to sculpt and render, and create characters that actually stand out online. You'll find the link in the description. Check it out, see if it's a good fit, and decide from there. Thanks again for watching. Hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next one. If you found this helpful, give it a like, drop a comment to share your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe. Enable notifications to stay updated on future videos.